Guys are just, if you know just basics of JavaScript, just select option A. If you have decent knowledge on JavaScript, select B. If you know basics and the advanced concepts of JavaScript, select C. And if you are completely new to JavaScript, you don't know anything about the JavaScript, just select the option D. So let me know on the chat so that I can get the idea about the audience, like how many of you know JavaScript at what level. Okay. So I just found very less people who knows JavaScript's basic and advanced concept, and lot of audience are from like they are completely new to the JavaScript. And there are few people who knows the basics of JavaScript. Maybe they are aware about another programming languages. Okay, great guys. Okay, so from today, we are going to start with JavaScript. So we will start with the basics of JavaScript. From the basics, we will start. And we will cover all the advanced concepts of JavaScript. Now, once you attend all the sessions of JavaScript, I am pretty sure that you will be able to clear any JavaScript interview. You will be able to create any JavaScript interview. Apart from that, you can proceed to learn library like React, okay, jQuery, framework like Angular, Vue.js. You can go for Node.js. You can go for MongoDB. Okay, so these are the different advanced technologies which you can learn, or which you guys can proceed once you know all the concepts of JavaScript. Once we have done with the JavaScript, then you guys can proceed to learn all these technologies. You can choose anyone. If you want to go with React, you can choose React. jQuery is almost outdated, but it is not completely outdated. There are few companies who are using jQuery, but you will be able to learn jQuery as well. You will be able to learn Angular. You will be able to learn Vue.js, and you can go for backend development also. So you can learn Node.js, and you can learn database called MongoDB as well. So all this you can learn parallelly. All this you guys can learn parallelly. Okay, but to learn all these advanced technologies, you should know JavaScript. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about days, guys. I want to cover JavaScript from basics to advanced concepts. Okay, don't worry about days. So I will be covering entire JavaScript. Now, I'm not sure how much time it will take. Okay. So not more than 1 month. It might take 15 days. It might take 20 days. It might take 25 days based on how you guys are understanding the JavaScript. But what I can say, I will be covering all the basics and advanced concepts of JavaScript. So once you're done with all the topics, all the sessions, you will be able to clear JavaScript interviews. Okay. Yeah. And I think there are some CSS topics are pending, right? Some CSS topics are pending. So those topics I will cover once I have done with some of the concepts of JavaScript. Once I have taken few sessions on JavaScript, maybe like 4 or 5 sessions, then I will cover those CSS topics. Okay, don't worry about the CSS topics. I will be covering everything. Whatever I have mentioned in the syllabus, everything will be covered at the end of this batch. Okay, so before I conclude this batch, I'm going to ask you guys, go through the syllabus and find out any topic is missing or not. If you guys find that certain topic is missing, you guys feel free to let me know. Yeah. So I will be providing the notes as well, guys. Notes will be provided in the both the format. In paint file. Paint file is like just a rough notes for us. Okay, paint file is just a rough notes for us. Apart from that, the way I have provided the PDF for your CSS and HTML, so same way I will provide the PDF for JavaScript as well. Okay, apart from that, I will provide all the code. So whatever code we are going to do in the sessions, everything we are going to see. Okay, so let's go step by step. Remember guys, if you are targeting to be a JavaScript full stack developer, if you are targeting for a JavaScript full stack developer, or if you are targeting for UI full stack developer, or if you are targeting for MERN stack or mean stack or Maven stack. If you are targeting for all these roles, then the most important technology or language I can say in this entire stack is JavaScript. In this entire stack, the most important technology or language I can say it is the JavaScript. If you know the JavaScript, then only you can proceed to develop dynamic websites. You will be able to learn React. You will be able to learn Angular, Vue, or something else. Okay. If you don't know JavaScript, and if you don't know JavaScript advanced concepts also, then you are not eligible to learn all those advanced concepts, and you won't get job also. You won't get job also. So whenever you go for interviews, any interview, it might be React interview, Angular interview, or Node.js interview. If you go for those interviews, they are going to test your JavaScript knowledge first. First of all, they will test your JavaScript knowledge. If they think that you have pretty good amount of knowledge on JavaScript, then only they will proceed towards technologies like React and Angular to ask the questions. So if you are not answering them JavaScript questions, they will directly reject you. They will never ask for React questions or Angular questions or Node questions. Let's suppose you went for an interview for a React.js developer. Okay, let's assume you went for a React.js developer interview. Now, they will not ask directly React questions. They will start asking you JavaScript questions. Now, if you are good with JavaScript, then only they will proceed and ask you the React questions. Same case with Angular, same case with your Node. Okay, so take JavaScript very, 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 very seriously. Very, very, very seriously. So according to my experience, this is the most important technology in your entire stack. Okay, and lot of practice required, guys. Once I have taken the session, once I have done the session, mandatorily you guys have to practice it. So when you come for next day, you should be good with the previous day concepts. Suppose if you are attending the tomorrow's session, then you should be good with today's session topics. Okay, yeah. So our class duration will be like there might be a lot of new people. The class duration will be 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, initially I will take till 6:30, but slowly I will make it as 7 p.m. Okay, for JavaScript we need to spend time, so 1 hour will not be enough. So we have to spend at least 1 hour 30 minutes. And sessions will be from Monday to Saturday. Okay, sessions will be from Monday to Saturday. So there will be sessions on Saturday, and if possible, maybe I might take some sessions on Sunday. In case if I am taking any session on Sunday, I will let you know. Okay, and what will be the timing on Sunday, I will let you know that as well. In case if I am taking any session on Sunday, maximum it will be in the morning, like around 10 a.m. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or maybe 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. something like that. In case if I am taking, okay. But regular timings will be Monday to Friday, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, yeah. About the recording, guys, you guys can just connect with the management. They will let you know. Okay, so I don't have the idea whether they will be providing recordings or not, because as of now, all the HTML, CSS videos are available on the YouTube. When it comes to JavaScript, I'm not sure. So just ask the management. They will let you know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can use checked. Okay, so let's start our discussion with what is JavaScript. So whatever knowledge you have, whether it is right or wrong, that is secondary thing. Just whatever you know, try to answer on the chat. Okay, whatever you know, don't worry about right or wrong answer. Whatever you know, whatever you might have heard or whatever you might have learned, try to reply. Okay, so my first question is, what is JavaScript? So what will be your answer? If someone asks you what is JavaScript, then what will be your answer? Okay, my question is very simple. What is JavaScript? Okay, nice, nice. Pretty good answers I got. Yes. So I just got one answer which I was looking for, I think from Ganesh. From Ganesh, I got exactly the answer which I was looking for. And there are few people, I think they have also replied. Oh, so let me explain you guys what is JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is a programming language. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language. Okay, one more point you have to remember. It was called, remember, it was called scripting language. Okay, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language. This is what you have to answer in your interviews. It was called, remember, it was called scripting language. It was called. Got it? So what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language. It was called scripting language. When it was called scripting language? Before the year 2010. Okay, before 2010. It was called scripting language, but after 2010, it is called programming language. So you might have heard about Java, you might have heard about C#, you might have heard about Scala. Now what all these languages are? All these languages are called programming languages. In the same way, now JavaScript is also a programming language. Okay, so don't answer scripting language from now. From now, if someone asks you what is JavaScript, you have to tell programming language. Now, why it was called scripting language? JavaScript was called scripting language because before 2010, JavaScript was used only inside the browser. Before 2010, it was possible to use JavaScript only in the browser. But now you can use JavaScript inside the database server, inside the application server. You can use JavaScript inside your mobile devices also. So we can use JavaScript anywhere now. Anywhere you can use JavaScript. That is the reason now it is called programming language. Before 2010, it was possible to use JavaScript only inside the browser. Only inside the browser. Outside the browser, it was not at all possible to use JavaScript. It was used to execute certain scripts. Scripts are nothing but just writing certain functionality. Like if I click on button, some action should happen. If I click my mouse at somewhere, some action should happen. So how that action will be performed? For that, we have to write some set of code. And that entire set of code we are going to call as a script. So that is the reason it was called scripting language. Okay, now JavaScript is a programming language. Is it clear for everyone? What is JavaScript? Okay, now don't ever answer scripting language. If you answer scripting language, then there are chances that you will get rejected. there are a lot of chances that you might get rejected. Why you will get rejected? Because you don't know JavaScript. That is what the feeling opposite person will get. And you don't have any practical knowledge on JavaScript. This is what the impression opposite person will get. Okay. Now, can you guys tell me what is programming language? What is programming language? What is programming language? Anyone knows about it? So there are different types of languages, right? If you seen that our HTML is a markup language, CSS is a styling language, JavaScript is a programming language. Now, what is programming language? A set of instructions we have in all the languages, right? In CSS also we can use set of instructions. We can use set of instructions in HTML also. Okay. So what is programming language means? Any language which can take some inputs, okay, and it can process that input and based on condition, it can take decisions and generate output. So any language which can take some input, okay, it can process that input, and based on condition, it can take some decisions to generate output. Such languages are called programming languages. So any language which can take some input, which can process, and based on that process, based on certain conditions, if it can take some decisions, and based on that, if it can generate some output, then such languages are called programming languages. Okay. So examples of programming languages are JavaScript, okay, JavaScript is one of the programming language. Java, C#, okay, F#, you have Scala. Okay, so these are the examples of your programming languages, your etc. So these are the examples of some of the programming languages. Okay, now we know what is JavaScript. We know what is programming language. Now, the next question, what we need to understand is what is the purpose of JavaScript? So why we are learning this programming language? Once we know this programming language, what we can do? Okay, so what is the purpose of programming language, or what is the purpose of JavaScript? Anybody knows what is the purpose of JavaScript? Why we are learning JavaScript? To get the job? Are we learning JavaScript to get the job, or to do some kind of actions? So can you guys list out whatever you know about it? Nice. I got pretty good answers. Yeah, lot of answers I got. Yes. So the main purpose why JavaScript was developed. What is the actual purpose of JavaScript is? It is used to create dynamic user interface. The main purpose of JavaScript is to create dynamic user interface. So this is the first purpose of JavaScript. Why JavaScript was created? It is used to create dynamic user interface. Using HTML and CSS, we can create only static user interface. We cannot create dynamic user interface. So it is used to create dynamic user interface. Lot of people will give this answer. I have seen lot of people will give this answer. It is used to create dynamic web page. How many of you heard this sentence? JavaScript is used to create dynamic web page. Okay, so don't ever give this answer, guys. Okay, with JavaScript, we cannot create web pages. We will never create web pages, or we cannot create web pages using JavaScript. JavaScript is all about creating dynamic user interface on the web page. Okay, it is used to create dynamic user interface on the web page, I can say. We cannot create a web page using JavaScript. We can create dynamic user interface on the web page. Okay, so don't ever give this answer. So that is the reason I have marked with red color. Now, what is the second purpose? The second purpose of JavaScript is it is used to do client-side validation. It is used to do client-side validation. Client-side validation means, for example, if you created one form, and you are asking user to enter some details. Let's suppose you created one form and you are asking your users to enter some details there. Now, if user entered some details, now it's your duty to check whether user entered the data as per requirement or not. Whether user has entered the data as per requirement or not, as per given format or not. Okay, so that process we call as a validation. Validation is just a process to check whether data is entered as per requirement or not. For example, let's suppose you created one text box and you are asking user to enter the name. Now, instead of entering the name, user is entering his phone number. You created a text box and you are asking user to enter name, but user is entering the number. Now, as a developer, you have to tell him, okay, you don't enter here number, you enter here your name. So how can you validate whether he entered name or number? That is using JavaScript. And the process of checking whether he entered name or number is called validation. And this validation we can do in the front end also. Validation we can do in the back end also. If you are doing validation in the front end, then they are called client-side validation. If you are doing validation in the back end, then it is called server-side validation. Okay, so JavaScript is used to do client-side validation on the data, whether the data is entered as per requirement or not. Okay, before we submit that data to the server or before we store that data in database or in some file, we have to do the validation. So this validation we can do using JavaScript. Okay, it is used to do client-side validation and server-side validation also. It means at server side also we can do validation using JavaScript. So in short, we can say it is used to do validation in client side and in server side. This is the second purpose of your JavaScript. Understood? What is the purpose of JavaScript? It is used to create dynamic user interface. It is used to do client-side validation and server-side validation. Apart from that, it is used to interact or integrate front-end application and back-end application. So using JavaScript, what we can do, using JavaScript, we can interact front-end application with back-end, or we can integrate front-end application with the back-end application. If you remember, in the first session, I have explained you the architecture of web application. So your entire web application is divided into three parts: front-end, back-end, and database. So front-end application you can build using front-end technologies. Back-end application is built using back-end technologies. Now, if you want to integrate this both the application, front-end and back-end, then we require JavaScript. Using JavaScript only, we can integrate front-end and back-end application. So this is one more purpose of your JavaScript. The main purpose of JavaScript is to create dynamic user interface. For this only JavaScript was developed. Apart from that, now you can do client-side validations and you can integrate front-end and back-end application as well. Okay, so these are the 3 points what you have to mention whenever someone asks you what is the purpose of JavaScript. Okay, so these are the minimum 3 points you have to mention. Apart from, there are so many things you can do with JavaScript, so that you will understand slowly once we start understanding the JavaScript. Once we end with the JavaScript, now you will have nearly 5 to 10 points. Okay, you will have nearly 5 to 10 points to explain someone what is the purpose of JavaScript. As of now, I have mentioned only 3 points because we don't know JavaScript. Once you start learning the JavaScript, once we finish our JavaScript, then you will have nearly 8 to 10 points in your hand to explain what is the purpose of JavaScript. Okay, now if I list out all the purposes, everything will go out of your head and it will just waste our time. So let's not to waste our time. I have just mentioned 3 points. Okay, is it clear, guys, up to here? Understood? What is JavaScript? What is the purpose of JavaScript? Okay. Yeah. Guys, the people who don't know HTML and CSS, then I don't recommend you guys to learn JavaScript. Okay. There is no use of learning JavaScript if you don't know HTML, CSS. So I strongly recommend, if you don't know JavaScript, just go back, learn first HTML, CSS, then come and learn JavaScript, or else it will just waste your time. Okay, so genuinely I'm saying, if you don't know HTML, CSS, it will waste your time. So first learn HTML, CSS, then come to JavaScript, so that you will understand exactly what is JavaScript, and that is the best way of learning JavaScript. Okay, so any validation which is done in the client side, those are called client side validations. Any validations which you done at server side, those are called server side validations. Okay, they just gave some fancy names just to make sure exactly validation process is done at which stage. I hope, Prasad, it's clear for you. Oh, now let's come back here. Now, can you guys tell me what kind of applications we can build using JavaScript? What kind of applications? What kind of applications we can build using JavaScript? Anybody knows what kind of applications you can build using JavaScript? Yes. The first answer is we can build web application, right? Can we build entire web application with JavaScript? Can we build entire web application with JavaScript or only front end? Okay, so can we build entire web application or we can build only front end application or back end application, or we can manage database? So answer is we can build entire web application. We can build entire web application with JavaScript. Entire web application. Okay. So you can build front-end application, you can build back-end application. Okay. And you can manage your databases. You can manage your databases. So using JavaScript, we can build entire web application. Now tell me, is it possible to build entire web application with Java? Is it possible to build entire web application with Java or C# or Python? Or PHP? This because these are the leading languages, right, to build web applications: Java, C#, Python, and PHP. So my question is, can we build entire web application with all these 4 languages? Not at all, right? So can you manage Java? Can you manage database with Java? Is it possible to create tables? Is it possible to manage the data using database using Java? Hibernate, JDBC, do you think using Hibernate and JDBC, you can manage entire database? Okay, it's not at all possible. It's not at all possible to create your entire web application with Java, C#, Python, or PHP. They are meant for developing only backend application. In industry, no one will use these languages to create entire web application. You might create some basic applications, but if you want to create any application using which, if you want to do the business in the market, then you cannot go for these languages. You cannot go for these languages, but you can go with JavaScript to build application to do business in the market. That is the reason this MERN stack, mean stack came into picture. You might have heard about MERN stack and mean stack. Now, MERN and mean are the part of JavaScript full stack. They are just part of JavaScript full stacks. Okay. So that is the reason, as per Stack Overflow, the most demanding programming language in entire world is JavaScript since 2020. Since 2020, the most demanding programming language in entire world is JavaScript. Okay, even not Python, because Python is used more in the data related technologies like big data, data science, right? Data analytics. So there Python is like a king. But when it comes to developing the web application, now modern web applications are built with JavaScript. Okay, you have the demand for Java, C#, Python. But if you compare that demand with JavaScript, then now JavaScript has more demand in the market. More demand in the market. If you learn Spring Boot, you can work only on backend. If you want to work on front end, again you have to learn React or Angular. Now, if you want to learn React and Angular, again you have to learn JavaScript. Okay, if you go for C#, then if you want to develop backend application, then you have to learn ASP.NET. Again, if you want to come to the front end, again you have to learn React and Angular. Again, if you want to learn React, Angular, again, you have to go to the JavaScript. Okay, same case with your Python and PHP. But if you go for mon stack or mean stack, then you have to learn only one programming language, and that is JavaScript. Now, once you know JavaScript, you can work with React, you can work with Angular, you can work with Node.js, you can work with Express.js, and you can work with MongoDB also. And you can build one entire web application. This is the only reason why MERN stack, mean stack, JavaScript developers became more popular in the market. And do you know, for freshers, they are ready to offer the package in between 5 LPA to 15 LPA. If you have good amount of knowledge as a MERN stack, then companies are ready to offer packages in between 5 LPA to 15 LPA. And on the top of this, if you know DSA, then you cannot imagine how much salary they are going to offer. If you know DSA on the top of this, then you have great demand. So I always recommend people to learn DSA, irrespective of which full stack you are learning, whether you are learning Java full stack, .NET full stack, Python full stack, or whatever you might be learning, learn DSA. Okay, it's very, 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 very important if you want high packages. If you want jobs in product-based companies, MNCs, high packages, if you are targeting, then go for DSA. You have to master DSA. And DSA you can master only by doing practice. Okay, it's very, very important. So what kind of application we can build? We can build entire web application, whether it is front-end, back-end, or database. In the same way, using JavaScript, you can build mobile applications also. Do you know that? Using JavaScript, we can build mobile applications. And these mobile apps, you can build both the platform mobile apps. You can build iOS apps. You can build Android apps. And you can build any kind of complex apps, any kind of complex app. Just using JavaScript, you can build iOS apps, you can build Android apps. It means you can do mobile development also. You might have heard about React Native. You might have heard about Ionic. So these are some of the frameworks which we use to develop mobile applications. In that, React Native is very, very demand. There is so much demand for the React Native in the market. Great demand we have for React Native. Lot of people can build mobile apps like for iOS and Android with React Native. Same with Ionic also. Yeah, DSA in our India, DSA is more preferred with Java. Okay, if you know Java, that's great. But if you go for foreign countries, then they prefer C++. Okay, but if you are learning DSA, it's not mandatory that you have to choose C++ or Java. You can choose any language. You can learn DSA with JavaScript. You can learn DSA with Python. You can learn DSA with Java or C++. But in our India, DSA is more preferred with Java, and in foreign countries, it is more preferred with C++. Okay, now it's completely your choice how you want to learn DSA. Okay, so DSA is just algorithms, right? We are going to just write some set of instructions using any programming language. Okay, DSA has great demand, guys. Whether you are using Python, C#, Java, or JavaScript, whatever you are using, if you know DSA, then you can expect more salary. You can demand more salary. Okay, DSA will make you to write perfect code. So in short, if you know, suppose there are two persons, person A and person B. Now person A knows some technologies, person B also knows some technologies. Let's suppose they both are able to develop application. They both are able to develop application. Now, if one of the person knows DSA, then he will be able to develop optimized application, I can say. He will be able to develop optimized application. Optimized application means the application size will be small, application performance will be very fast. That developer knows how to use the resources, in the proper way. So in short, I can say he knows how to write proper code. The people who know DSA, they know how to write code in the proper way, how to utilize resources in a proper way. The people who don't know DSA, they can just write the code, they can utilize resources, but they don't know how to write proper code, they don't know how to utilize proper resources. Okay, so company wants the developer who should be able to write proper code, who should know how to utilize proper resources. That is the reason the people who know DSA, they have great demand in the market. And if you go for the companies like Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, right? These big companies, they will just test the knowledge on DSA. They will never test the knowledge on technologies like React, Angular. They will never test. They will only test your DSA knowledge. They think that if you know DSA, you can learn any programming language. You can learn any technologies. So that is what the companies like Apple, Microsoft, okay, your Google prefers. Okay, is it clear, guys? Okay, so what kind of applications we can develop? We can develop web applications, we can develop mobile applications as well. Apart from that, we can develop standalone applications also. Standalone applications means your desktop applications. We can develop desktop applications also. Standalone or desktop application means the applications which we are using in the systems. Applications like Notepad, applications like browser, okay, applications like this paint file, applications like your VS Code, applications like your Eclipse. Those kind of applications you can develop using JavaScript. And all those web applications are called desktop applications or standalone applications. It means now you can develop any type of application using JavaScript. You can develop mobile applications, you can develop desktop applications, you can develop entire web application. Okay, you can use JavaScript in the field of machine learning also. We can build ML applications also, machine learning applications. Okay, we can build, but JavaScript is not preferred. When it comes to machine learning, deep learning, or data science field, JavaScript is not preferred, but you can develop. So there is a library called TensorFlow.js, using which we can develop machine learning algorithms. We can develop machine learning related applications. Okay, but JavaScript is more popular. JavaScript is more popular for these 2 points, to develop these 2 applications. JavaScript is more preferred to develop web application and to develop mobile application. Okay, you can manage desktop applications, you can manage machine learning applications, but it is more preferred to develop web applications and mobile applications. Now here we are learning JavaScript. So can you guys tell me, here we are learning JavaScript to target which applications? Our intention is to develop which type of application using JavaScript? Are we learning JavaScript to develop mobile applications, or we are learning JavaScript to develop any other application? Yes, here we are learning JavaScript to develop web application. It means we are going to learn JavaScript in the perspective of developing the web application. Is it clear for everyone? Here we are learning JavaScript in the perspective of developing the web application. Okay, so in today's session, I just covered introduction to JavaScript. Like, what is JavaScript? What is programming language? What is the purpose of JavaScript? What kind of application we can build using JavaScript? And why we are learning JavaScript as of now, or in which perspective we are learning JavaScript. What is our ultimate goal to learn JavaScript? Our ultimate goal to learn JavaScript is to develop web application. Okay, we will be developing one application as well here. So we will develop very small applications. So whenever we are learning some technologies. Is it clear, guys? So initially we will learn basics of JavaScript. Basics of JavaScript. Like we will be learning the fundamentals of languages, like what are variables, data types, selection statement, loops, object, arrays, functions. So this all comes under your basics of JavaScript. Once we know the basics of JavaScript, then we will focus on advanced concepts of JavaScript. We will learn how to develop dynamic user interface using JavaScript. We will see how can we integrate server-side application with JavaScript. We will see how we can do form validations. Okay, we will learn all these concepts in advanced JavaScript. So here, let me show you guys the content of JavaScript, what we are going to learn. So let me show that. Let me show the content as well, so that you guys will have the idea exactly what we are going to learn in the JavaScript. Okay, so here I have mentioned all the topics of JavaScript that I am going to cover. So if you come down here, I will mention. Here I have mentioned all the topics that I am going to cover in JavaScript. So you guys can just go through this syllabus. If you think that there are some more topics which you want to learn, at the end of our sessions, you guys can mention those topics. So if time permits, I will explain those topics as well. Okay. So these are the minimum things which I am going to cover. Whatever I have mentioned here, these are the minimum things. Apart from this, if I feel some topics should be covered, we have the time and people are interested, then we will go for that topics as well. Okay. And when it comes to notes, and this code, so I will be adding all these notes in the GitHub. So you guys can just get the notes from those GitHub. So let me provide the link. So this is the GitHub link which I will give you guys. So what you guys have to do, simply you have to click on this GitHub link. Okay, so you will land here. So here already I have the code for HTML and CSS. So what I will do, I will structure this entire thing. I will create one JavaScript folder. And in that, you will find entire JavaScript session related paint files, PDF files, and our code. Okay, save this link, guys. Save this link. So daily notes, I will update here on. It's completely free. Amit, it's completely free. No need to pay any fee. Okay, no need to pay any fee. It's completely free. So utilize these sessions, just learn. Even if you know JavaScript, try to learn. Maybe there are chances that you might learn something new, or you might know something different way. Now here you might learn actually what is that concept. Okay, guys. So this is the first session. So there will be a lot of doubts from the people. That is the reason I'm just stopping this session here itself. Like if you don't have any doubts, you guys can drop and you guys can join tomorrow at same time at 5:30. Okay. So we will cover next set of topics from tomorrow's session. And if you have any doubts, feel free to add your doubts on the chat so that I can just reply you guys. Okay, let me give the GitHub link. No, Tushar, that is not the answer. JavaScript you can use outside the browser and you can use for multiple purposes now. That is the reason it is called programming language. Mauli, see, if you learn Stack, it's okay. Okay. So it's not mandatory that